Hello, I'm here with a verse. Well, uh, yeah. Matthew 19:36. Some Pharisees approached him to test him. They asked, "Is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife on any grounds?" "Haven't you read," he replied, "that he who created them in the beginning made them male and female? He also said, for this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate." So yeah, that was Jesus talking to the Pharisees. Pharisees were talking to Jesus. Now, realize Pharisees were politicians, modern day politicians, but if you think about the politicians, were probably introduced by Roman. Bad Roman. I call them bad because of the politicians. Yeah, I do have an issue with politicians. That doesn't mean I don't pray for them. I just don't trust politicians altogether. Because how many times they've lied so much. But I still pray for them because I care where they go. I want them to go to heaven. I want them to change and go to heaven. But anyway, it talks about there being only two genders, male and female. I can tell you right now, people who say, males who say, well, you know what, I feel I'm a female, and then they decide to, change and become female. That to me is disrespectful to God when you do that. That's basically you putting your thumb on your nose going, nah, 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 I can do whatever I want to. God made you the way you are. If you're female, if he made you female, you're a female. If he made you male, you're a male. But when you decide, I want to change my gender, that's basically disrespectful to God. And that is not good. Because you're basically listening to the enemy's lies, and he's telling you, hey, you may be born a male, but you're actually a female. You need to change. And people listen to his lies. And that's sad that people listen to his lies. That's why we have to come to God and ask for his help. But basically it says here, Jesus is saying, a man will leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife. In other words, his parents cannot be involved. After that point, his parents cannot be, still be with him if his son or daughter asks, hey, I need help, can you help me? Still do that. Basically what it means is when a man marries a woman, they become husband and wife. Parents are basically supposed to back off. They're not supposed to baby. I mean, I've heard different stories where mothers have not liked the person that their children marry. So what do? They go far as to trying to break up the marriage, which is stupid and asinine. Your son's grown up. Your daughter's grown up. Leave them alone. They're not your babies anymore. They have moved out. They have moved on with their life. You have your own life. Concentrate on yourself. Don't concentrate on your kids all the time. Don't be I call parents that are like that, stalkers. Stop stalking your children when they're growing up. Let them live their lives like an adult. Do not stalk them anymore. You need to learn how to back off. If you're alone, a single parent, find friends to hang out with. But you don't need to be constantly hovering around your kids all the time when they're growing up. I mean, yeah, when they're younger, that's understandable because they're still growing up. They're still learning stuff. So yeah, hovering around them is fine. That when they're, younger and they're still kids. But when they're full-grown adults, it's just disturbing. Very disturbing. I could tell you, I had problems with my mother doing something like that. And I had the one day, because my dad told me that I realized I have issues, during that time, I didn't realize I had issues with depression and anxiety. So it took me a while to realize, hey, I need to tell my mother she needs to back off, because she was getting involved in every detail of my life, even after I was 18, still. So I finally told her, and now we have this thing. If I need help, I will ask her, hey, I'm having issues with this. I don't understand it properly. Can you help me understand this? Now, find out that I have depression and anxiety, take medication, regulates my brain, and helps me think a lot better, so I don't need his help as much as I used to, because my thought process is a lot better thinking now. So I can understand stuff a lot better now, as I've gotten older. And taking this medication, which helps. But anyway, they're supposed to become, two will become one flesh. So they're no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate. Now, a lot of people would say, oh, what the heck does that mean? Okay, think about it. Adam. Where did Eve come from? Eve came from Adam's rib. When they get married, they join in unity together. They become one flesh because Eve came from Adam's rib. So they're basically, when they married, they're joined back together, becoming one individual again. I know it sounds a little weird, but if you think about when Adam was born, he was alone. God put him in deep sleep, took a rib, and made Eve from Adam's rib. So yeah. And there's another couple of things here. How do you approach marriage? Now understand, I'm not married, and I've had a lot of people say, well, hey, you can get married, this kind of stuff. I've had people rush me and say, okay, you're getting too old to have kids. The reason why I'm not married, the reason why I'm not seeking a relationship, is because every time I get into a relationship, my focus goes off of God and on that person. My relationship for God, my focus needs to be squarely putting God number one. And that's why I'm not in a relationship. Plus, the other thing is, I haven't ran into any gals at church, and I cannot do the online thing because a lot of people that are online, that do the online dating service, a bunch of them are scammers. And that's why I do not do the online, because I seem to attract the scammers mostly. So it's like, yeah, that's not going to work. So, if I end up getting married down the road. If I don't, I don't. If I stay single the rest of my life, I'm happy that way. My relationship with God is more important than a relationship with a female. Because my relationship for God is number one. Is most important. So this is stuff for people who are married. It could apply to single people too, but marriage is just a piece of paper created by people, which is true. But if you are in front and you're getting married and you make a commitment not just in front of people, but in front of God. Put God first in your relationship, then your marriage will succeed. But if you put that person first, not put God first, then your relationship will not succeed. You will have issues. You will have issues with your marriage. So please put God first in your marriage. I could say this. One thing I love about my pastor is the fact that him and his wife put God first. God is the very first thing in their relationship. And I look at that and go, man, I think out of all the pastors that I've had, I would say he is the principle of how a marriage is supposed to be, because him and his wife put God first in their marriage, which is a good thing. I mean, it doesn't mean you don't have arguments with each other, because you probably still have arguments with each other, because you'll disagree with stuff. Not everyone agrees with the same things. It's just you have to learn how to, deal with an irrational situation. But anyway, that was me going on about that, which is a good thing. I'm going to go ahead and pray. This is a morning thing. I'm still going to read Exodus later and post that later. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for this wonderful message that you provide. Thank you for, marriage is a secret thing. A lot of people in this world don't think marriage is a very secret thing. They think it's some fling thing you can do. A lot of people think that when you have a relationship with someone, that's considered love. But God, you are love. And we need to focus on you, because you are love and you are true love. And when people say, well, we love each other. Yes, that's true, but that's God's love. I just pray that this message will reach people on my YouTube channel. In Jesus' heavenly name, amen. Talk to you later.